So, in a new poll, surprising no one, turns out all these Labour majority places that voted to leave now want a second referendum. So, the People's Vote campaign polling contradicts the perception that constituents want a quick Brexit. The majority of voters in all seats held by Labour support a second referendum on Brexit, according to analysis released by the People's Vote campaign as it steps up lobbying of opposition MPs. The campaign commissioned a YouGov study based on the polling of 26,000 people in the hope of persuading Labour MPs to vote for a second referendum if May's Brexit deal is rejected and the party cannot force a general election. The effort is aimed particular at Labour MPs in constituencies that voted leave, many of whom still say they want the primary message they hear from constituents is they want the UK to get out of the European Union as fast as possible. It has helped sign up one high-profile backbencher, Jess Phillips, whose Birmingham Yardley constituency voted 60% leave, but according to the YouGov analysis, 63% support a second referendum, and only 52% would vote Remain. That is a massive change. So, it is no surprise to me to find that my constituents feel that they have been failed in the negotiations and that are changing their mind on Brexit. Phillips says that if I had to pick who to decide my fate between Theresa May or the people in my community, I'd pick them every single time. The support of Labour's 256 MPs will be critical if a second referendum is to pass the House of Commons. And even now, strategists for the People's Vote campaign concede there is not a current majority for a People's Vote in Westminster. Their beliefs is that MPs would first have to vote down whatever deal May brought back from Brussels before the idea of a second referendum to break the deadlock could gain traction. But the hope is that a second referendum will give Labour MPs food for thought. Jeremy Corbyn's party agreed a policy at its conference under which it would measure up May's deal to see if it would protect jobs and workers' rights. If the deal fails that test, Labour would vote against it when it comes set to the Commons for ratification, after the Prime Minister conducted divorce talks with Brussels. Labour would then seek to force a general election by calling it a confidence vote, and only if that failed would it consider the option of a second referendum, an idea that was enthusiastically championed at the conference by the shadow Brexit Secretary, Sir Keir Starmer. Support for a second referendum is the largest in Corbyn's seat of Islington North at 80%, where the number falling back to 53% in Ashfield, the East Midlands seat held by Gloria Del Pelto. YouGov used multi-level regression and post-stratification techniques, polling 260,000 people to build up a statistically model of key demographics including age, gender, education, race and social class. The theory behind it is that it becomes more possible to produce a model for every constituency in the country. Peter Kellner, the former president of YouGov, said that the MMRP approach indicating a hung parliament in last year's election. He added that his former employees' data showed that very few voters with strong views on Brexit were, whether for or against, have changed their minds since the last referendum. Quieter members of the electorate who do not necessarily speak to MPs on the doorstep, those are the ones who have changed their minds, Kellner added. And it keeps on rolling, and as I said, the tide will keep on coming in, and eventually something's going to have to break. And it will be Brexit, because Brexit's already broken. It was a smashed mirror, and no matter how hard you try, you cannot put all those pieces back in a different mirror frame.